Welcome parents to Glens Falls Middle School's open house. This is a video to teach you a little bit about our new Glens Falls Middle School ELA model, the model of what your kids will be doing when they take reading and writing. So our model is based on some research in that the researchers studied the correlation between how much time is spent reading and the percentile rank of kids that do that reading and the words they come across every year. And you can see from this chart that if the kids do 20 minutes or more of reading, their percentile ranks are really high, and they're experiencing, over 1 million and 2 million and even 4 million new words a year, words read a year. So knowing that research, we truly wanted to establish a model where we were offering kids time to read. And so what does this model look like? And I'm going to explain to you what a 60-minute ELA block looks like. Our 60 minutes is broken into 3 20-minute sections. The first 20-minute section, the kids will come into ELA class and they will read from chosen books. And these chosen books we call independent reading, and they are the 2 E's, easy and enjoyable. It's going to provide kids right off the bat every single day in ELA, 20 minutes of reading. The second 20 minutes is our instructional time. This is when teachers will do the how-tos, how to be a good reader, how to be a good writer. Here's a strategy that good readers use. Here's a strategy that good writers use. And this will be the time where they'll be showing kids using read-alouds and using their own teacher notebooks. They'll be teaching in this 20 minutes because we know that kids need models to learn from. The last set of 20 minutes in that 60-minute block is for kids to apply what they have learned. Now, they will be reading another book, a different book in this 20 minutes. This book we call an instructional text. And the instructional text is just a little bit harder than the independent text. It's a text where the students can stretch a little bit and grow as readers, and they'll be supported by teachers through conferencing and small group work. This is also where kids will talk with partners and write about what they're reading, because we know they need a time to process the things that they read in order to understand it best, according to research. So what will they need for class? The first thing they'll need is an independent book that's easy and enjoyable. We have such beautiful classroom libraries and a beautiful Glens Falls Middle School library, and we have no parameters on what the kids read as long as it fits those 2 E's, easy and enjoyable. They will also get an instructional book that from the teachers. They'll still have choice. The teachers will bring them a bin of books. They'll say, choose from this bin. The bin is organized by instructional level for the kids, and the kids will choose them, and this will be their book that they are stretching as readers and trying to grow and will be supported with by the teachers. They'll need a notebook. Some teachers have been using digital, and some teachers use paper, some teachers use both. And they'll need a willingness to read. We've really discussed a lot in the month of September to kids why it's so important to read. We've shared with them the research that we started this video with. They know why it's important to read, and we're hoping that they're going to grow as part of our reading community. How will my students be graded? So this is an exciting discussion as well. The teachers have gone through the state standards, and for every unit of study, they have chosen what we call priority standards, standards that they think the kids must master in order to be successful readers and writers. And then the way that we're grading, we're doing this really neat combination of standards-based grading and percentages. So let me tell you what that means. So once the teachers pick their priority standards, you can see that this is 7th grade, Unit 1's biography. One of the standards, the state standards that they've chosen, is called Standard 7R3. And basically it says that in information text, kids can be able to analyze how individuals, events, and ideas relate to each other and are developed. So the way that we've set this up is we've said, what does a 7th grader need to do when it comes to this standard to master it? And we have listed it. So if they do all of these things here, they're getting between a 90 and 100, and we would say that they were in that 4 level. If they do things here, look at all the things that they're able to do. They'll be getting an 80 to an 89, and they're in our 3 level. But our goals would come out of this column for them, because we would want to move them up to this column, that they can do this, but they can also do this. A child, in a 70 to 79 would be in that 2 range. And once again, there's lots of strengths in the 2, but we would be working to move them to that 3 level. And the same thing for the 1 level. That's a 50 to 69. There are some things that they can do. These 2 columns tend to be more basic than these columns here. And we'd be wanting to move the kids up to that level 2. And their goals would come from that column. So when you get report cards, they will be in that percentage score, but you can talk with your teachers and say to the teachers, tell me what it is, in that column that you're working on as goals for my students. This grading, this manner of grading really helps us to dig down and be pretty specific about the strengths of your students and the goals that they have. And that's why it's an exciting way to be graded. So the next thing that I want to talk to you about is that we have decided that we really want to rely on really good best practices for ELA. And we've done a lot of research on that. We've worked with an expert named Laura Robb, and we've created this Students ELA Bill of Rights. Basically, this is what we believe all of your kids are entitled to when it comes to reading and writing. So the very first thing is that they'll have teachers that demonstrate what it means to live richly literate lives. We really are trying to build a reading community in Glens Falls Middle School, and the teachers are part of that community. They will have a connected and balanced reading and writing curriculum. Sometimes they'll be in reading units, sometimes they'll be in writing units, and those units will be balanced. If they've done a unit in nonfiction for reading, then they'll do a unit in nonfiction for writing, and so on. They'll also be learning under various genres. So sometimes your kids might be studying realistic fiction. Sometimes your kids might be studying information. Sometimes your kids might be studying historical fiction. And all of those skills will be scaffolded through all of the grades. We truly, truly, truly believe that your students deserve and are entitled to explicit instruction of skills and strategies for good readers and writers. So that's that second 20-minute block for our ELA model, is that explicit instruction will happen there. The kids will, of course, like I said before, have daily time to read at their independent level every single day, no matter what unit they're in. They will have that 20 minutes of reading, and they will also, in reading units, have time in an instructional text. We also know that it's so important for students to process what they're reading and to practice the skills and strategies. So there will be frequent opportunities for them to talk to partners and frequent opportunities for them to write in notebooks about their books to practice those skills and strategies that we're teaching them. They'll have opportunities to build their vocabulary and their knowledge base by reading lots and lots of nonfiction. That was an extremely important thing to add to our Bill of Rights. And lastly, but probably most importantly, your students will know and have clear goals. We will give them feedback that's specific to them. They'll know what they're doing really well, and they'll know what their next steps should be. So I hope this helps you understand what our model is. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I'm Logan Fisher, the instructional literacy coach at Glens Falls City Schools. My email is lfisher@gfsd.org.